Hey guys, I'm Serious Man Toby coming at you with another analysis, and today I'm going to be talking about Hanabi. And Hanabi actually received a nerf to her jutsu and a buff to her speed and combo. So I'm going to be talking about what that means for Hanabi, as she's not really a character that we see. We don't we don't really see Hanabi too much in the meta unless she's used as a support. But in top player matches, you don't really see Hanabi because it's hard to force your opponent to sit down to a support like you used to be able to in other games. You know, a lot of times they can wiggle out of that support, and they have counters. So if you try to combo them into a block situation that forces them to take the support, you're always subject to the counter. So if they counter, that can mess up your plan. So before, her combos were kind of like that, but now they're just a tad bit faster. My problem with Hanabi is that even though her combos got buffed, it's the fact that when she goes into her second string, she commits to it, meaning that during that whole entire animation right there, you see this animation right there, you are forced to do nothing. The only thing you can do is you can cancel, you can use the inherent cancel right there, or you can counter, which is fine, but being able to just jump or move is, obviously just better for a character in general, because they don't have to commit to using their resources just to make something safe, because if you just dash cancel like that, you can get countered. Of course, yeah, you can block to mix it up, but it still does cost chakra and it still does cost your resource. And if you counter, then yeah, you can switch, but you're still using a resource. Whereas if, for example, I'm Neji and I go into my second string, I can jump pretty much right after. So I have all my options available to me, all my movement options, all my inherent options like counter and dash. I don't have to use a bunch of chakra to do that dash. I can do this. So there's just a lot of options that I have available to me that Hanabi doesn't when she's performing a lot of her strings, because when she does them, they don't allow her to jump out of them as fast and they last a little too long. Like right there, that whole sequence, her whole sequence before she gets to where the combos change, you can't really cancel out of it. All you can do is hit one, this is hit one, this is hit two, couldn't jump until then, and this is string three. So it is actually an annoying thing. What they could have done was they could have increased her priority a little bit, so that way while she's hitting, she has a chance of hitting you when you dash. That would have made her a little better. But honestly, because of that factor, I feel like even though her combos in terms of speed have been buffed, it still isn't going to make too much of a difference, especially when she doesn't have anything. Last time I practiced with her, I couldn't find an infinite or anything. To my knowledge, she doesn't have an infinite. So she can't really maximize damage up close. She doesn't really get anything off a grab because of that. Well, I could have gotten a bomb if I was faster. Her air combo is pretty decent. But, outside of that, there's really nothing else. She's just a standard character. She's not, like, bad per se, but it definitely is a weakness having to only, if you get caught in a string, being forced to only dash or counter. So that still doesn't solve that problem. So nice play on CC2, but you should have maybe buffed her priority or maybe allowed her to cancel a little bit better than that. Anyways, let's talk about her jutsu. So her jutsu actually lasted longer, and I'm gonna show you what I mean with that. Remember, it lasted a whole lot longer. Remember, the jutsu used to put your guard on red. It was actually a really overused support when the game first came out because a lot of people weren't swift in their movement. So, like, you would just be blocking and, like, people would be so scared they wouldn't move or they would jump. You put Hanabi on them, and then after that, they have to take the whole guard sequence, and then you can get so much pressure off of that. And then even if, for instance, if you catch an opening, you could just charge chakra, and then you have so much stun time to just do whatever you want. Now, the stun time and the time on block has been decreased a little bit. So that was a nerf to the jutsu. Do I think the jutsu is still worth using in meta play? Well, quite frankly, I don't really think that anything Hanabi has to offer in regards, like, obviously she's a support that when she hits is really good. When you get that one opening, yes, it's going to be really good. You can really maximize it. But ultimately, I feel like it's just what you could gain by leaving her out is just better. Like, you could, instead of, like, if I wanted to rock with a meta team with, I guess Hinata, let's say I'm using Neji as my one meta support. In place of Hanabi, I could choose Choji, or I could get Pain, or I could get Gaara. You see what you can gain as opposed to having her on your team? In addition to that, people can still move out of the way of her because look at how long it takes her to start up. She came out and then she started the rotation. That's enough time for someone to move. And let's say I'm doing kunai pressure, like that. Even though that was a very rough example of it. Let's say I'm doing kunai pressure. They can still move out of the way. And if I try to hit them, they can counter and, you know, knock away Hanabi and me. So, all in all, there are still the holes that were present before are still there, and they just made the jutsu less versatile. Do I feel like the jutsu should have kept this ridiculous stun time? Honestly, a jutsu where it allows you to literally charge chakra, like a jutsu that gives you that much advantage, where it allows you to literally charge chakra and just set up that hard, I don't feel like it should have that much ability. I definitely feel like there should have been some more compensation. Like maybe it should have started up a little faster just to help it out. Because now it's like before, if you use it, it's like kudos, you know, if you can hit it off, you're going to get a lot, but it's going to be hard for you to hit it off because of movement and encounters and stuff. Whereas now, even if you do hit it off, it's like, okay, cool. You don't really have that much time to, you know, maximize its potential. So all in all, it just feels like Hanabi really didn't get hit with a nice, you know, with the nice part of the patch. Her speed boost really doesn't matter because of the way her combos are and her priority and the fact that she doesn't really have, you know, she doesn't have an infinite or any other options when she hits, nor does she have back hits or anything like that. And her as a support is just kind of in the same state that it was in before, only weaker. So I don't really feel too good about Hanabi this patch. And I'm not really sure we'll ever see, you know, somebody come out with Hanabi and really do well with it. I mean, of course you'll have people kind of pick her just for the heck of it, but I don't think anyone really takes playing Hanabi seriously. But if you do, then more power to you. Hopefully, you know, it works out because I don't really see too much going for Hanabi right now in this current patch. Anyways, this has been my analysis on Hanabi. Thank you guys.